These two naked men was thrown out in middle of the street. They had 12 hours to take money from other people. Mago went into a construction site and dressed up like a worker, and Burga got on a taxi and took his worn-out clothes. After that, the two men started their crazy competition. Mago went to a food stall and took away a bottle of sauce. Then he found a target and applied it on his suit. "Hey bro, get your suit washed, some sauce is on it." After that, he did it very quickly. He took that man's belongings, phone and wallet. Now he had money. The first thing he did was changing his clothes, then got on a luxurious car and said, "Don't say anything, let's go." The driver looked at Mago and was confused, but Mago acted like the boss and the driver believed him. With Burga, he took a chalk from a man on the street, and then drew some strange things in front of a restaurant, which drew the manager's attention. Then he asked him, "What are you doing?" "Don't ask. Remove these tables right now. The truck is on the way. Don't ask me what's happening. If you want, find the mayor. We are going to arrange this place. Please remove your tables." This made the manager dumbfounded. He gave Burga $500 to make him go. Burga took the money and went away. Then he saw Mago on a car going past him, which made him very angry. He immediately called the police and said, "There is a black man on a luxurious car. He's the wanted guy." After a few minutes, Mago was arrested. Luckily, he had a supporter in this competition, so he called that guy for help. So did Burga. He also called his supporter Karen, but he didn't know he had messed with the wrong one and caused a big trouble. This guy gave the seller $60 to buy a map which cost $33, then the seller gave him $27 back. Then Burga pretended to be generous and gave that change to the seller, and told him to give him another $30 in change. The seller got the money and said there were only $27. Then Burga said sorry, he might make a mistake, and told the seller to give him $60 back. The seller returned it to him. Until after Burga's leaving, did the seller feel something wrong. Burga went to a clothing store and told Karen to buy him the cheapest suit, and then gave Karen the map and told her to pretend to get lost. Burga held the bag and started fighting a prey. It was a man who had just walked out of the store. He had the same height as Burga, so Karen opened the map and asked him. Burga took the chance and swapped their bag. When the poor man looked in the bag, he found himself tricked. Then Burga pretended to be a magician and cheated many people. But it also drew the police's attention. The two immediately ran away and escaped. Burga continued on his tricks. This time he dressed up like a bank guard and wrote a note out of order and then earned a lot of money. In another development, Mago wasn't any worried because he found a big prey. He and his supporter went to a bar and met a friend. He wanted the man to make him a fake ticket. Look at this dumb man. He didn't know he was tricked. Until when he learned it, there wasn't anyone left. Burga brought the sign to a wharf and started on his trick to make money. "Ladies and gentlemen, let's come and see this. Voyage to London. You'll be able to go along Thames River, visit Buckingham Palace and have a cup of tea with this beautiful woman. Only $60 for one. This is a rare opportunity." Just after a while, Burga earned lots of money. After only half of a day, he earned about $6,000. Burga was quite sure he won the game, so he told Karen to call to ask about Mago. As a result, Mago invited them to a pub. Burga asked him how much he had earned. Mago said not a cent. Hearing so, Burga was extremely excited. "I can easily deceive $5,000. I'm sorry to announce that you've lost." But Mago said, "I'm not sure. I found a big prey." Burga was quite worried and said, "Did you?" Burga knew Mago was just lying, so he gave him $3 to make fun of him. But after Mago's leaving, Burga felt worried and thought, what if he did have a big prey? Then he followed Mago and saw he leave with a woman. His supporter also caught a car. He told Karen to follow Mago's supporter, and then went to the restaurant, gave the guard some money, and then was told that woman was a stamp collector. Mago did have a prey, so he called Karen and told her about this. He thought Mago intended to make a fake stamp to deceive the woman, and the supporter left to get the stamp. Burga knew a famous man who made fake things, and thought Mago also found this man. So Burga wanted to come first and take the stamp away. So he went to that man and pretended to be Mago's friend to get the stamp. But Mago said only his supporter could take the stamp. Burga said, "He had some problems, so I went there on behalf of him," and then gave the man $3,000 to get the stamp. By the time they got on the car and left, Mago's supporter came. Then Mago received a call and hurriedly left. Burga saw Mago leave and thought that he completely won. He sat down and intended to discuss with the woman about the stamp, but the woman didn't know anything at all. She was just a seller. Burga was extremely shocked. He looked at Mago and saw he laughing. The game's time was over. The two got back to the pub and took out what they had got. After calculating, Burga had $1 more than Mago. Because he had lied to Mago, he said he had $5,000 to deceive him, but in fact he had $6,000. Then Mago took $3 out from his pocket. It was the money Burga had used to make fun of him. The situation completely changed. Mago won the game, but before Mago could enjoy his winning, the supporters gave this old man $1,000. It turned out that he wanted to make money on these two men's ability, so he came up with an idea and made them join this competition. In the end, these frauds became the ones who were tricked. Goodbye and see you in other videos.